Remember the days when our biggest concern was whether the new episode of Friends would be as good as the last? Or when we debated if Ross and Rachel were on a break? Ah, the 90s, a time of neon windbreakers, boy bands, and some truly unforgettable fast food items that, sadly, have gone the way of the Tamagotchi. Grab your slap bracelets and let's take a delicious stroll down memory lane as we remember the best discontinued fast food delights of the 1990s. McDonald's Arch Deluxe. Year introduced, 1996. Year discontinued, 2000. In the mid-90s, McDonald's decided that adults deserved their own fancy burger, something that screamed sophistication and whispered, "I'm lovin' it," to the grown-up palate. Enter the Arch Deluxe, a quarter-pound beef patty with all the trimmings, lettuce, tomato, cheese, onions, ketchup, and a mysterious mustard mayo sauce, all snug in a potato flour sesame seed bun. It was marketed with a $150 million campaign, which was almost as big as Ross's hair in Season 1 of Friends. Despite the effort, the Arch Deluxe couldn't compete with the Big Mac's charm and was eventually shown the door. But those who tasted it still talk about it in hushed, reverent tones. We can only dream that one day it might arch its way back into our lives. Taco Bell's Bell Beefer. Year introduced, 1970s. Year discontinued, early 1990s. Taco Bell once dared to bridge the gap between burger and taco with the Bell Beefer. It was essentially a sloppy Joe that ran away to Mexico and came back with a taste for mild sauce. This culinary enigma featured a hamburger bun cradling seasoned taco meat, lettuce, and diced onions. Though it quietly disappeared in the early 90s, the Bell Beefer lives on in the hearts of those who appreciate a good food hybrid. Rumor has it that if you whisper, "Bell Beefer," into a drive-thru speaker 3 times, a former employee appears to tell you tales of the good old days. Burger King's Chicken Tenders. Year introduced, 1980s. Year discontinued, mid-2000s. Before nuggets were the nuggety norm, Burger King blessed us with chicken tenders, strips of breaded, seasoned, and fried chicken that made us feel sophisticated, even if we were just dipping them in ranch while playing our Game Boys. These tasty tenders were simpler and arguably more satisfying than their nugget counterparts. Though they've occasionally resurfaced in various forms, like the much-loved chicken fries, the original tenders hold a special place in our grease-coated hearts. Pizza Hut Espresso. Year introduced, 1985. Year discontinued, early 90s. Imagine a pizza and a pie had a secret love child, and you've got the Priazzo. This deep dish delight from Pizza Hut was filled with layers of cheese, meats, and sauce, encased in a thick, doughy crust. It was a pizza lover's dream and a cardiologist's nightmare. While it didn't last long into the 90s, those who experienced the Priazzo still talk about it with the kind of wistful nostalgia usually reserved for first loves and original Nintendo games. The Priazzo was a glorious, gooey indulgence that we didn't know we needed until it was gone. Wendy's Superbar. Year introduced, 1988. Year discontinued, 1998. Long before fast casual was a thing, Wendy's was living the dream with their Superbar, a buffet-style spread that featured everything from pasta to tacos to salads. It was the stuff of childhood fantasies, a place where you could mix spaghetti with chili and no one would bat an eye. Alas, maintaining a buffet in a fast food joint proved to be a logistical nightmare. By the late 90s, the Superbar was a sweet memory, leaving us to wonder what might have been had we appreciated it more while it was here. Wendy's, if you're listening, we promise to be good if you bring it back. McDonald's Pizza. Year introduced, late 1980s. Year discontinued, mid-1990s. Yes, you read that right. McDonald's once tried its hand at pizza, and it was every bit as strange and wonderful as you'd imagine. The McPizza was an attempt to broaden the fast food horizon, offering personal-sized pizzas with various toppings. Despite being surprisingly tasty, the McPizza couldn't compete with the Golden Arches burgers and fries, and the experiment was short-lived. Occasionally, whispers arise that a lone McDonald's in some far-flung town still serves McPizza, a culinary relic waiting for true fans to discover. Arby's Loaded Potato Bites. Year introduced, late 1990s. Year discontinued, early 2000s. Arby's Loaded Potato Bites were a crunchy, cheesy, bacon-filled dream come true. These delightful little bites of heaven were served with a side of ranch for maximum indulgence. They were the perfect snack for anyone looking to combine their love of potatoes, cheese, and bacon. Though they didn't last long into the new millennium, loaded potato bites have a dedicated fan base that still campaigns for their return. Maybe one day, Arby's will hear our pleas and bring back this crispy, gooey treat. Dunkaroos. Year introduced, 1992. Year discontinued, 2012, though availability was limited in the 2000s. Okay, technically not a fast food item, but can we really talk 90s food nostalgia without mentioning Dunkaroos? These snack packs featured kangaroo-shaped cookies paired with a deliciously sweet frosting dip. They were the lunchbox treat every kid coveted. While Dunkaroos were discontinued in the US in the early 2000s, they made a triumphant return in 2020 due to popular demand. For a long time, though, they were a sweet memory that left us longing for simpler times when dunking cookies in frosting was the pinnacle of culinary delight. Cakes popcorn chicken. Year introduced, 1992. Year discontinued, 2011, with various reintroductions. Cakes popcorn chicken was a game-changer. These bite-sized pieces of crispy fried chicken were perfect for snacking, sharing, or just shoveling into your mouth by the handful. Introduced in the early 90s, they quickly became a fan favorite. While popcorn chicken has made several comebacks over the years, it's never quite stayed on the menu permanently. It's the kind of snack that makes you wonder why it ever left in the first place. Here's hoping it pops back into our lives for good one day. McDonald's Mighty Wings. Year introduced, 1990. Year discontinued, 2003, with a brief comeback in 2013. McDonald's Mighty Wings were a bold attempt to bring spicy, bone-in chicken wings to the fast food giant's menu. They were crispy, flavorful, and packed a punch, making them a hit with those who craved a bit of heat with their meal. Despite their initial popularity, Mighty Wings eventually flew off the menu, only to make a brief return in 2013. Fans of these spicy treats still reminisce about the days when McDonald's offered more than just McNuggets to satisfy their chicken cravings. Taco Bell's Volcano Taco. Year introduced, 1995. Year discontinued, 2013. The Volcano Taco brought the heat to Taco Bell's menu with its bright red shell and fiery lava sauce. It was a spicy twist on the classic taco that delighted those who loved to test their taste buds' limits. Though it stuck around longer than some of its discontinued peers, the Volcano Taco eventually met its end in 2013. Fans of spicy food still yearn for its return, proving that sometimes, it's good to play with fire. Wendy's Spicy Chicken Nuggets. Year introduced, 1996. Year discontinued, 2017, though returned due to popular demand. Wendy's Spicy Chicken Nuggets were the stuff of legend. These perfectly seasoned, crispy nuggets had just the right amount of kick to keep you coming back for more. Introduced in the mid-90s, they quickly became a fan favorite. When they were discontinued in 2017, there was an outcry from fans that eventually led to their triumphant return. While they've made a comeback, the period without them was a dark time for nugget lovers everywhere. Burger King's Rodeo Cheeseburger. Year introduced, 1998. Year discontinued, early 2000s. The Rodeo Cheeseburger was a rodeo in your mouth, a cheeseburger topped with crispy onion rings and smothered in tangy barbecue sauce. It was a wild ride of flavors that left you wondering why all burgers didn't come with onion rings. Though it didn't last long on the menu, the Rodeo Cheeseburger has a cult following that still dreams of its return. Every now and then, it pops up as a limited-time offer, giving fans a chance to relive the glory days. McDonald's McDLT. Year introduced, 1984. Year discontinued, 1991. The McDLT was a burger ahead of its time. Served in a two-sided container, it promised to keep the hot side hot and the cool side cool. It featured a beef patty, lettuce, tomato, cheese, pickles, and sauce, with the promise of perfect temperature harmony when you put it all together. While the McDLT was discontinued in the early 90s, it remains a beloved memory for those who appreciated the novelty of its packaging and the freshness it delivered. In a world where burgers often come pre-assembled, the McDLT was a DIY masterpiece. Conclusion. The 90s were a golden age for more than just grunge music and denim overalls. They were a time of bold fast food experiments that left us with full hearts and even fuller bellies. Though these culinary creations have vanished from the menus, they live on in our memories, and perhaps our waistlines. Do you remember any of these delights, or do you have a discontinued fast food favorite that still haunts your dreams? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the nostalgia feast going.